we continue with this Global South and what the Global South can bring also to their point of views about these issues, and also the road to COP 28 that is going to happen in Dubai from the 30th of November till the 12th of December. And now I present these other inviters. So Dina Storey, can we come here? And Lygia Anthero is in Brazil, and she's going to talk also with us. So, and Rodrigo is also Brazilian, but I already met them. But we tried to get the dynamics from this panel because we have Lygia from. I didn't. Hello,
Hi,
Lygia.
everyone.
I didn't ask
Hello,
you.
how are you?
Which city are you in now?
What?
Em que cidade é que estás?
Ah, estou em Rio de Janeiro.
Okay, so we are going to talk in English, but Lygia asked if she has any problems on communicating. She's going to speak in English,
Yeah,
in Portuguese, and then I
in
switch.
English.
She'll try to speak in English, but if she has some problem communicating, I'll help her and translate to English from Portuguese. So let's start with Lygia. Lygia is going to present that she has a presentation, and she's going to help us on talking about her matters and the specific project that is in her lap also. This B. What is meant to be, and then we're going to go to Rodrigo and then Dina. Okay, let's start. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here with you. I'd like to stay here with you, but here I'll do my best. Let's talking about. And my name is Lygia. I work as a coordinator of collective causes at Sistema B Brasil, a partner of BLab. We are a non-profit organization that works to engage companies, people, and government in a new economic model that benefits people and planet, not just profit. And I'm not a climate scientist, but I see and I know many people who are affected by climate change. And my mission here is to bring these reports to you. And how can we talk about that? And I always say that I am an activist because I have no choice. I am a Black woman, a worker, and who lives in fear of not having a healthy future for me and the next generations. And when I think about that, when I was a little girl, I'm dreaming about space, about moon, Mars, but today I just think about this world and how can I live there with peace, freedom, and dignity, and with simple things. To have a freedom for everyone, to have a peace, to have free access to water, food, clean rivers, and security. And here in South Global, Brazil, we have many solutions. We have abundance, but we need to bring this population more affected by climate change here in this conversation. And I think I am here for bring these views, different views.
Okay, let's do to your
now.
You have a presentation. I think we have now we can put on the screen, and then you go through the presentation to us.
Oh, can I do it later or better?
No, do it now. Do it now.
Oh, okay. Just a moment. Okay. I will open that. Can you see now the presentation?
No. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, and I'm beginning with this ask: what do you do if there is not only forest left on the world? And we talk about Amazonia. We talk about our big forest on the world, and the scenario is impossible to imagine now, but this has happened right now, and here in Brazil as well, especially when you talk about the Amazon and some data that I bring here, some recent data of the deforestation and how this is danger for us and for the climate change. And from and end to September of this year, more than 3,000 kilometers of forests are destroyed in the Brazilian Amazonian, just in our territory. And the state of Amazonas, we had more fires than in the past 20 years. And about climate justice, I have to say, indigenous people are victims of 38% of the murders to the land dispute in Amazonia. And I think about this, we don't have time to discuss, to talk about it. We need to act right now. And these words and all about that I showing to you make me feel that we are so late. We are so late, and the deadline is short to ambition of a Paris Agreement. And the reality of us here in Brazil is very challenging. And I think about what can you do together, North and South Global? What can you do now? And we cannot wait for do something. I am here in Rio de Janeiro. You are here. You are there in Aveiro. But we think the same thing. We don't have any time for do more things. And about the Sistema B and Believe, we have a mission of building a more equitable, equal, and regenerative economic system for all people and for the planet with global cooperation. So, okay, this is okay. And about our community and Believe, we are more than 7,000 B Corp certified around the world. And this is making me think about if you can do the difference with 7,000 companies, we can do it about between the countries, between the collaboration of the countries. And this is our plan until 2030. And I want to share with you because I really believe that this is not for the companies. The people need to know about that. This is a conversation that very difficult to understand for other people. So I can show this plan for everyone who wants to know about that. And for finish here in this part, this is some 5 pillars, five points about what you want to do now. And we need to think about social justice and progress for Black people and indigenous people, because just look around, these people is not here in this conversation, in these events, and we need to bring these people for this conversation. We need to talk about climate justice as we are doing now, and bring the solutions and innovation with the perspective of those who know the problem. And these people, indigenous, Black people, women, young people, they know about the problem and they know about the solution. And here we need collaboration with the government. The COP30 has been here in Brazil, so we are preparing a lot of people to this moment, and we need funded to maintain projects, and so we really need this part to keep going. And that's it. You can find me. You can do a better conversation in other spaces, and so we are my Instagram and LinkedIn and the website of Sistema B. That's it. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Lygia. So okay, we have this approach to your project also, and also your view about what's happening in Brazil. Also, this important message that you portray, that is there are so many people that don't have the voice to be in these panels, and you are this voice. So congratulations for that, and thank you for your ideas also. But I will be back to you later on. Let's go to Rodrigo. Rodrigo, you are also a Brazilian, no?
I'm Brazilian, yes.
Yes, and but you are going to talk about a totally different matter.
Yeah.
You are now working in Saudi Arabia. In Portugal now, Saudi Arabia is being talked a lot, not because of the environment, but because of football. But is always a good interest in these matters. Also because Saudi Arabia is changing their position in the world, also in diplomacy, and also getting some importance in this facing situation, this Israel and Palestine problem. But you are going to talk about your project. You are passionate about sustainability. You have thoughts also about that. Tell us about these Roots Ventures and what is being done by you and your ideas.
Thank you for having me here. I mean, I've been thinking about. I've been in over 40 countries. I've never been to Portugal.
Oh, your first time in Portugal?
It's my first time in Portugal.
Okay.
So I'm very excited to be here.
And you realize there is a country in the other side of the world that talks with your language also.
No, so we actually, I mean, part of my work when I was looking at transportation systems that needs to be sustainable and applied everywhere, of course, I discussed a lot with the Portuguese government, but I just haven't been physically here.
Oh, great.
But of course, it's a country that we have to consider. So yes, my passion is dedicated to sustainability. You know, I'm on a mission to impact humanity by transitioning us to more sustainable technologies. And I've been working with that in many verticals. So from financing, which is Roots Ventures now in Saudi Arabia, which is a group of companies that we created to fund and create companies to address exactly that by leveraging the demand that there is in Saudi Arabia right now. If you look at the ambitious projects that we have, it's actually pushing the approach to more sustainable technologies, and there's no other way than going that direction. Second, in terms of education, I've started in Brazil, which is my home country. I've been living abroad over 15 years, but it's my home country, and I'm working with some scientists to actually put together a content that we can take to the kids, to the schools, so that they can learn and think about sustainability from when they're very young. And the third aspect for me, which addresses Article 10, Paragraph 6 of the Paris Agreement, which I've been, discussing about it for the past at least 5 years, is exactly the cooperation between countries, no matter if it's south or if it's north, but to actually scale technologies that can actually impact the whole planet, right? So I've been playing with this in terms of worldwide, looking at which countries would be leading in terms of knowledge, in terms of labor force, right? And how can we look at the world as humanity and not just this nation or that nation, right? This is a nutshell what I've been.
But why Saudi Arabia and all this?
Well, exactly because if you look at the whole world, where you have less politics, more resources, right? You have the perfect environment, right? And to address that, you have, for instance, the Saudi 2030 vision. If somebody hasn't heard, I would recommend to read. And we also have Saudi Green Initiative that now became the Middle East Green Initiative. I mean, those are very ambitious projects targeting net zero, targeting education of the people about the matter. So when you have that, you actually have a deal flow, right? Which, for me, when you look at some technologies that are out there, and let me give you an example in terms of construction, there's green concrete out there that could be applicable anywhere else in the world. And the reason why this is not happening is because you have one or two companies that has achieved the technology, but they want to dominate the market, and they don't want to cooperate, which for me doesn't make any sense at this point. I was head of global business development for Hyperloop, a company many of you have heard about because of Elon Musk. And the levitation technology that we use, which is a technology that doesn't require energy, was developed over 40 years ago at Lawrence Livermore Labs, one of the most important labs in the US, and was locked down there because it was applied for military use. Imagine, this is a technology that has been sitting there for many years, which we could have used and have a better transportation for many years ago, right? So these kind of things, luckily we had the scientists that invented and reached out to us and said, look, this has to be applicable for your transportation. It's time to have this up and running. They already had a test track there for transportation. So this kind of conversation is one of the things that I've been around the world and discussing with leaders on how can we make sure that once we achieve something that can impact humanity, that this can be worked in a collaboration mode and taken to other countries as well.
Great. Dina, you are also from that part of the world, but you are from Iraq, but you work in Qatar? No, Dubai?
No,
Dubai. Sorry.
It's okay.
No, you cannot mix the countries. But yeah, and you worked recently on a really great idea, also the Dubai Expo, World Expo, and you were head of sustainability. So sustainability is also your passion, and you are working a lot on that. What can you bring to us in this discussion?
Thank you. Yes, so I moved to the region. I am originally from Iraq, but I worked and studied in the US for a while after the Desert Storm 1. And I studied sustainability, and I think we were one of the first group of students to graduate with a sustainability management degree out of Columbia with Professor Jeffrey Sachs. And the idea of just talking about sustainability from an environmental perspective, which sometimes, and again, it's a misconception, it's totally changed. When I went to study sustainability at Columbia, it was about you have to look at the economic value, you have to look at the social value, and I think, for example, the work that you're doing is very important to that. How do you fund these projects? I moved to the UAE almost 9 and something years ago. I can't even remember at this point. And I started working on different projects all over the Middle East. I speak both languages, and I saw that the area is not only needing some of these innovations, some of these technologies, or the mindset, but you have a younger generation that is striving to be more sustainable. And the Middle East is a very young region. The Middle East and Africa are very young regions, and in 50 to 100 years, these are the children that will be leading all of this. So education, you talk about education, absolutely. But how do we, with living in the region, hosting now COP28 that's coming up, how do we make a difference? And that's the part that we're working on right now. I was the director of sustainability, thank you, for the Dubai Expo 2020. We had 192 countries, 25 million visits to the site. It was right after lockdown. People just wanted to go out. People just wanted to understand what's going on. And we had the opportunity to present them with sustainable solutions, testing, presenting from different parts of the world. With COP28 coming, we're also going to be hosting the world. In this case, we're going to be also activating what we need to do going forward. There's a lot of skepticism about why should it be held in Dubai, you know, blingy, all of this stuff. That's absolutely fine. But and I've heard that before. Why do you work in the region? I work in the region because it makes a difference. I work in the region because you have a younger generation that needs this. I work in the region because there's only 3% groundwater. I work in the region because we have droughts that are just increasing. And you have not just the governments, but you have people who are living there who are really, really being affected by climate change. This is why Saudi Arabia is interested. This is why the UAE is interested. And I think that this is an opportunity as we move towards COP for all of you to voice what you need, to voice what you want, but also to collaborate, which is exactly the message that we're talking about, the collaboration. We can't do anything if we don't collaborate.
Can I ask one thing? Because
Yes.
it's like for my journalist point of view.
Yes.
Because there is some arrogance from Western countries about what's happening in Middle East. Of course, we have to face that. And I want to ask you, what is the main view of the people, like towards global warming, climate change? Is there an awareness about that? Do you think it's just a thing from the youth, from younger generations, or is rooted this is a matter that is in the talk about in the countries?
Absolutely, very good question. I think that there are two reasons. One of them, yes, there is an awareness about climate change, and there is an awareness about global warming, or for that matter, the idea of unpredictable weather. Let's just say that. So there is an awareness, and yes, it's not just the youth, but there is a really big need for example, agri-tech, agriculture. We saw this firsthand when COVID hit. 90 to 95% of the food in Saudi or the UAE is imported. Mm-hmm. How do you then, when you have a disrupted supply chain of food, how do you handle that? So there has to be new innovations. The other part of it is pure and simple economics. Pure and simple economics saying that oil will run out. We have to diversify our economics. And the way to do that is to see what the rest of the world is doing, and definitely go into the innovative space whereby we can create energy security, food security, and social impact for our younger generation.
It's really interesting, your point of views, and I would like to talk with you a lot more, but we don't have too much time. I want to switch to Lygia. Lygia, you want to talk about also how to scale up some projects, and those people that don't have the voice and come to you. What can they do, and how can you help these people to scale up their projects?
Filipe, this part I'm gonna speak in Portuguese, okay?
Okay,
and
no
you
problem.
translate for me?
Yes, please.
Ok. O que essas pessoas têm feito aqui é muito liderado, né, pelas populações que estão nas periferias do Rio de Janeiro, de São Paulo, das principais megalópolis aqui do Brasil, são projetos comunitários, são coisas que não são projetos que trazem soluções vindo de um CEO de uma empresa. Isso vem de dentro de uma comunidade. Um grande exemplo tem uma comunidade chamada Paraisópolis, né? Uma das maiores favelas que existem aqui no Brasil, e as soluções que existem lá são soluções que trazem inovação até mesmo para empresas que estão no grande centro de São Paulo. Então, a gente pode dizer que tem empresas que trabalham com logística, que fazem entregas, né, em lugares que a agência de correios, né, a grande agência brasileira de entrega não chega nesses lugares. Então, essas empresas, né, uma delas se chama Favela Express. Então, é um dos pequenos exemplos, assim, dos pequenos grandes exemplos, mas de empresas que chegam onde o governo não chega, onde as populações mais miseráveis e que são pessoas que populações que consomem também, né, elas são assistidas por essas empresas. Então, a inovação está justamente aí, não é uma inovação de inventar um novo foguete, embora isso também seja inovação, mas é atender as necessidades da população que precisa disso agora e fazer isso de uma forma que seja sustentável para o planeta também, porque um grande trabalho que a gente faz aqui no Sistema B também é emitir um certificado, né, que olhe para essas 5 áreas de impacto, né, não olhe só para o meio ambiente, mas olhe para como os trabalhadores estão sendo tratados, como os clientes estão sendo tratados, né, a parte de governança também. Então, tudo isso vai fazer com que esse ecossistema ele seja inovador e, ao mesmo tempo, sustentável e regenerativo.
Obrigado. So I'm going to sum up. Lygia was talking about these populations that live in like megalopolis like Rio and São Paulo, when they have these favelas. The political correctness in this nowadays we don't talk favelas, you say communities in
Communities.
but it is the same. But it's the same, Lygia, no? But that doesn't solve the problem to be political correct, no? So, but Lygia was talking about a really big one that is Paraisópolis, that have provided solutions like to companies like logistics or mailing, and they have like Favela Express that can bring, that deliver mail to these communities and to these impoverished populations. So this is not rocket science, but it's sustainability in a practice sense. And so even this project from Lygia brings certificates, specific certificates to these companies, like evaluating environment, labor, and how the clients are treated and governance. So this like building an ecosystem that can be focused on sustainability. So this kind of things that this B project is providing to these specific companies and to these people that they don't have this voice, but they have these needs, and they are aware also about this moving and changing planet that we face. We don't have much time, but Rodrigo, I want to pick you on this the global South perspective about some solutions and practical situations that you can like things that you can help on this venture that you have. What kind of help that you can provide?
Right. So what we're doing is basically, as I explained, to look at the demand that we have, starting from Saudi, right? And then we compare with technologies that globally this could also make an impact. Mm-hmm. So for us, some of the priorities, for instance, is emission management, right? What kind of technologies can drive that? Another one is waste management, which the region has a huge opportunity because until now, most of the waste has been exported for recycling, right? So it's a perfect region to leapfrog to more advanced technologies. We're looking at water, right, which for me is one of the critical assets that we're going to have a lot of problem even before 2030, right? Mm-hmm. That very little countries are even considering. So we are taking advantage of being in the region, as my dear friend just said, that has no choice, right? Because you have the hardest environment hitting on them every single day, right? So for us, it's really so what I'm dedicating is to learning about these technologies and where they are, and connecting to this demand and seeing which ones we could take it globally with the right funding, with the right incentive structure.
Dina, I want to ask you about COP28 and what's going to happen, your expectations, because people can be a little bit frustrated about the last ones. Yes. And the things that really can happen when we face these big meetings, and then in the end we are there is so many frustration, even on the young side, so it's not just on the Middle East, it's all over.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't say that we won't be frustrated. The NDCs are coming to fruition. Everybody's submitting. Are the reports the best reports? Not really, from the ones that I've seen. We committed to a loss and damage fund back in COP27.
Yeah.
And the last discussions in Luxor about this, the conversations broke down. So if you look at the process, if you look at the let's say the process of COP, it's broken. There has to be a different way of doing it. I think that there is a lot of talk about modifying, changing the process. We all know that this is not always easy. The UNFCCC or the UN system sometimes is a little bit slow. But on the other side, on the positive side, what we are seeing is a lot more people, let's say, who are not in the negotiations, who are not sitting there taking actions by themselves. And I think this is where the beauty of this lies. You go to the innovation hub, and you have innovations that are coming. You go to the food hub, and you look at agritech. You go to the knowledge hub, and you talk about data, information, and for me, that actually is the whole impact of COP. It's more than people sitting together fighting about a comma and where it belongs and who's responsible for what. It's about what are the people who are coming to this to see this dynamic?
Yeah.
What are they bringing to the table? This informal SDG 17 collective that's happening during that time.
That's great. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's about taking action, right?
Yeah.
Because if we just wait for companies to solve, or if we wait for the governments to figure it out, it will never happen without our collaboration, right? That's why we decided to create this group of companies, because we want to take action, right? We just passed, the past weeks, Antarctica's ice sheet just passed the no return point. When I talk about 3 degrees warmer, 3 degrees warmer, a lot of people think, oh my God, so I may change my summer vacation plans. They don't really understand that when we talked about 3 degrees colder, that's when we had ice age.
Yeah.
That's the kind of impact that the world can have, but people don't understand it. So there's also this lack of information for people to understand how they're going to be impacted, because around the world there's a lot of people being impacted right now, right? So there's also that point that is important.
Maybe these COPs can be like an excuse to push the matter, and to talk about the matter, not about the commas, but the other things that happen.
But I think events such as this, I find some of these events a lot more impactful, and you get to meet so many different people who are doing some amazing things, and you get to see what the world is doing, sometimes even more than COP, because the process and complications sometimes hinder you from doing that. Although, please come to Dubai. Expo City is awesome, and I know that everybody will enjoy it. So
there is an invitation, but we have some time to some questions. If you want to put questions, just raise your hands, and we go to you. If there is no questions, I have a lot more. So, and we have just 5 more minutes. So over there. Let's just wait for the microphone. Thank you.
Hello. To Rodrigo. So you work contents for children in schools, and I wanted to know how you do it. You do like books or like, I don't know, games or? Right.
Thanks for the question. Well, I just realized that you need to plant the seed at the right moment, right, in education. And I just thought last year and said, okay, I need to help in Brazil and start with the country. So I checked with the main content producers in Brazil that they generate content constantly and sell to the schools and also take it to the public schools to understand how they were looking into it. And for my surprise, they were not. And you also have a huge budget in the country for that kind of initiative as well, which I might come into that in the next 2 years after we test and validate the first set of content. So I just took the initiative to call up on some friends, on some scientists, NASA astronauts that kids relate to, so that we can create this content together and then share it with the students. We're just starting.
That's great. Is there any other questions? No? So, we are done. We're going to thank you so much, Rodrigo, Lygia, and abraço para o Rio. Yes, of course. We just have
Obrigada, abraço.
4 more minutes. No, the microphone is going to you.
Hi. So for Dina, you're hosting the COP28, right, in Dubai?
Not me
Not your-
personally, but I am working at
Yeah,
COP
you're working there,
on
so-
a number of things, yes.
But can we expect sustainability to be part of it? Because sometimes in that area, they want to try to enhance what they have.
Yeah.
And you know how it is, like show the world that they can do better things and stuff. And sometimes the emissions and all that accompanies it, it goes along with it. So
Yeah.
do you think that will be really in their core? Or do you think they're just going to show and tell it afterwards?
Extremely good question. So, and I'll
Welcome.
give you the context of this. The COP28 will be hosted at Expo City, which is the legacy city of Expo 2020, which we built. Over 192 buildings there. They're all LEED certified gold and platinum. We measured the emissions and the emissions reduction. Building standards, yeah. The site itself was built as a smart, walkable city. That means that in the heat, you have to have certain areas that have shaded areas and all of this other stuff. From a waste diversion perspective, we've put together an operation process, which is now being replicated at COP28, whereby we ended up diverting about 92% of our waste. And we reported on all of that, and we put it on reports out to the public. And that includes reports on human rights, that includes reports on worker welfare, and all of this information is out there. What we're doing now with COP is literally taking this process where we've tried and true, let's say, experimented it during the 6 months of Expo, and we're replicating it for the 2 months. Locality of food, for example, the focus on food waste, that's part of the COP28 journey, and I think that anybody who will go there will see that firsthand. So it's just replicating what we did at Expo into the COP process and actually enhancing it, because we're looking at the carbon footprint of, we're expecting about 27 to 29,000 people coming in. We measured the carbon footprint of 25 million people, so we can do it for this one. Yeah.
Can I just ask something?
Yes, of course.
So, from the audience, how many of you have been to Dubai or Saudi Arabia? Raise your hands.
Oh, amazing. Good.
Yeah, I
Maybe,
think
maybe more to Dubai. If you ask for two
I'm
Saudi
100%. Has anybody been to Saudi Arabia here? Ah, right. What's that?
Not until they are socially sustainable.
That's fine. That's fine. No, so I really would recommend anyone to come, because I've been to over 40 countries talking to ministers, prime ministers, heads of state, and I've never seen a region that is organizing themselves almost as a company, that have efficient KPIs, that have the projects to push it to fruition. I really recommend that you come to the region and actually see for yourself, not what's on CNN, on Fox News. Go and see for yourself what is happening in the countries, and you'll be surprised.
So we have 2 invitations to Dubai and Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Maybe Lygia can invite us to go to Rio also.
There you go.
I will.
So thank you so much for,
Thank you.
for
Thank you
this
so
time.
much.
Thank you for that. Bye-bye. Abraço.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.